Welcome to another ComfyUI episode. Today, I will show you how to edit images using Krea 2, and at the end, if there is enough time, I will show you how to create MiniMax H3 prompts locally. I added this version check node so you can see what ComfyUI version I have and what Pixaroma nodes version I have at the moment of recording, so make sure yours are updated. Download the workflows for free from the video description, and let's start with the Krea 2 edit workflow. As you know, the Krea 2 edit model was not released, so what we have is not a true editing model, but a LoRA and some nodes that allow us to edit images. Even if it is not perfect, it still works. If you see some red nodes, make sure you have all the custom nodes installed. So besides Pixaroma nodes, we need the Krea 2 enhancer, but you should already have it from previous episodes, and also the Krea 2 identity node, which you should also have if you updated Easy Installer. If not, go to Manager, search for Krea 2 identity, and I am using this version of the node created by this user. So install that, restart ComfyUI, and everything should work. If you watched the previous episode, you already know how to get the models. We used the Krea models before. Just download either the INT8 model or the FP8 model and see which one is faster for you. Then place it in this folder. For clip, I use this one. And we also need this edit LoRA for the workflow to work. The last one is the VAE model. Without that LoRA, you cannot do the editing. Then press R to refresh the node definitions and make sure the downloaded models are selected in the nodes. That should give you everything you need to run this workflow. For the LoRA, you can see I loaded it here, and I use a strength of 1. There is this edit node that allows us to insert information about the image into the workflow. I collapsed these nodes once they were connected because they work fine with the default settings. And here is another one that patches some things. I do not know exactly how they work since these are not my nodes. So let me see how it works. First, we start with an image. We can upload an image or select one from the input folder. I will use this woman. Then I used an image info node here to get more information about the width and height, so I can connect those values to the empty latent node to decide the final image size. That information is also somehow used in the positive and negative prompts. If we look at the settings of this load image node, you can see I set it to a maximum of 1 megapixel. You can increase it to 1.5 or even 2, depending on how large you want your final image to be. But with 1 megapixel, most models usually work well. I also set snap multiple to 16, so it works better with those sizes. So, like I said, the size is decided by the image we load, since we usually want a similar ratio for editing. In the prompt, we add instructions like what to remove, change, or replace. For example, I want to replace her red dress with a white t-shirt and blue jean shorts. Then I run the workflow, and it takes around 17 seconds on my PC to generate an image. We can see that the woman looks similar, and we successfully edited the outfit. Let me choose a fixed seed so we can see how the settings affect the result. We have a reference boost slider here, which is set to 4 by default, but you can change the value. If we use 0, the identity of the woman is not preserved. We get a similar but different woman, and the model has more freedom to add things however it wants. Between 0 and 1, it starts to preserve more and more of the person's identity. Usually, values between 1 and 4 work best. You can see that it also has the shorts, just like I asked. Here's an example of a bunny riding a bike, but I increased the reference boost to 10. You can see that it tried so hard to preserve the identity that it did not want to change the feet and other parts. So, unless you are changing a background and want your product to stay exactly the same, I would avoid using values that are too high. As soon as I start reducing that strength, I begin to get some feet back there, but it still keeps the hands and the rest of the pose almost the same. If I reduce it to 4, you can see that the hands are positioned better, the feet look better too, and the bunny is still almost exactly in the same position. If I reduce the reference boost to a value of 2, you can see that it has more freedom, so it fits better into the scene. And if I reduce it even more, it gets even more freedom. So play with the settings, prompts, and seeds, since some seeds can give better results than others. At a strength of 0, we get a different bunny with an outfit similar to ours, but it loses the identity. That might be useful if you want to create variations of certain images. It is also very good at replacing the background. As you can see here, I got a nice spring background, and the character fits quite well. And if you have more VRAM, you can try changing the settings and going up to around 2 megapixels. Then run it again, and now you get a larger image with more detail, but the generation will also be slower. If we look at 2 megapixels, it took 46 seconds to generate, while at 1 megapixel, it took around 16 to 17 seconds. So clearly, the smaller the size, the faster it is. But if you want custom sizes that do not depend on your image, you can use this custom workflow. It is similar to the first one, but instead of getting the width and height from the image, it uses this resolution node to change them. You can see that my image is square, but I can select a portrait ratio and decide on the size. For the prompt, I want to replace the background with a winter background. And look, now we got a portrait image with the same bunny on the background we asked for. And if you want a landscape ratio, you can do that too. You can see that now, from a square image, we have a landscape ratio, and we kept our bunny. It fits perfectly into the scene. So the creators of this node and LoRA did a great job, considering this is not an actual edit model. For the next workflow, you can place your character into a specific background. So in the first load image node, you load your character, like I have here, and in the second load image node, you load the background. For the custom ratio, you can use something similar to your background if you want it to match more closely, and then add a prompt describing how the character should fit into that image. And now my bunny is placed in that image. I also prompted for some water ripples there, so it does not look like it is floating on the water. Let me change it now to a more exotic background. I will use a landscape ratio in this case. And in the prompt, I will see if I can also replace the outfit and place it in that background at the same time. I could probably use ChatGPT for better prompting here, but let me try it. And we got our character on that background. It replaced some parts of the outfit and kept others. I wonder what happens if I reduce the reference boost a little. It is still a similar bunny, so that did not affect the outfit much. We have the same bunny and background. I think it just needs a more precise prompt if I want to make several edits at once. Let me see if I can change the shorts to orange and remove the backpack and the hat. So it did all of that, but it kept some parts of the backpack. I would suggest reducing the reference boost a little more and telling it to remove those backpack parts as well. Now let me move to the next workflow, which lets us add a custom outfit to any character. This workflow needs a different LoRA that is based on the edit one but made for outfits, so make sure you download that one. Then you need a photo of an outfit. It works better if the image contains just the outfit. I added the recommended trigger words here, which are transfer the outfit, plus some extra words that seem to help. Then here, I describe the character I want without mentioning the outfit. You describe how the character looks, the environment, and the style. So now when I run it, I get the woman I asked for, dressed in the outfit from the attached image. This means you can create presentations for your outfits. But it does not have to be a photo. You can also try other styles. Let me try something random, like a 3D cartoon bunny woman on a beach. And look, now the dress is on the bunny. How cool is that? I am sure this could be useful for many projects. But I know you might want the dress on a specific character. Maybe your wife wants to see how the dress looks on her before she buys it, right? For that, we have this second workflow. So you use one character in the first load image node, and then the outfit in the second one. It is kind of annoying how red it gets when an image is missing, so just load your own images. I also attached the images I used inside the workflow archive. You can see that the error still did not disappear even after I loaded the image. Press F5 to refresh the window, and it should disappear. Then you can save the workflow with those images loaded, so it does not turn red again the next time you open it. For this one, we have the same type of prompt and some trigger words that help. I told it that the clothes of the person in image 1 should be replaced with the outfit from image 2. So let me run it and see how it works. Now we have the woman wearing that outfit. You can even read Pixa on the t-shirt, but some small details might get lost. You can generate larger images or change the load image setting so it uses a slightly larger size in the workflow. But let me try adding this blue dress to the woman now. I will leave the same prompt because it is quite universal. And look, our woman is now wearing the blue dress. If something does not look right, try a different seed. Let me try something more difficult. Now, the outfit is already on a person, and that can affect how things work because the LoRA was trained with a person and an outfit. Now we have two people, so things can get mixed up. I tried a few seeds, but it did not change much. It still gave me the geisha character instead. So the solution I found was this. I opened the image, and I could crop it properly, but I wanted something quick. So I just took a screenshot of the outfit section without the head. So, off with her head. Then I pasted that outfit, and look, now we got our woman back with a similar outfit. In fact, it added some extra flowers. Let me try another seed. And now it looks how I wanted. We got that outfit on our woman. So make sure you have one character and one outfit, because using two characters is much more difficult. Moving now to MiniMax prompts for video generation using a local model. I tested this for a few days with a lot of different combinations to improve the formula. At first, I tried a 4B Quen model, but after it still failed with some prompts, I tried an 8B model and got better results. It is not perfect every time, but I got good results with it. Also, the MiniMax H3 model might interpret the same prompt differently depending on the seed. I tried a lot of different node combinations, and then I decided to make a single node that has the formulas and everything it needs inside to generate the prompt, so it is easy to use. I first named it MiniMax Prompt, but I made it so I can add more formulas later, so now it is called Video Prompt Pixaroma. You just add a short prompt and press Generate, and it will generate a text-to-video prompt. The formula I added by default was tested with this model. So download that model and place it in the text encoders folder. For me, the FP8 version was faster on the 40 series, faster than the INT8 version in this case. But you can try the INT8 version if you have a 30 series card. For me, INT8 took almost twice as long. Claude says it needs around 12 gigabytes of VRAM to work, but the only way to know for sure is to test it. So where's the model setup? Go to Settings, and from here you can select the model. I made it so the models with VL in the name are more visible, since those have vision and can read an image. It can generate 3 types of prompts: text to video, first frame to video when one image is connected, and first frame, last frame to video when 2 images are connected. You can also click Edit to see the formula I use and change it if you think you can improve it. It also has the duration in seconds here, so it helps if you set a similar duration before generating the prompt, depending on how long you want your video to be. It does not really add the number of seconds directly into the prompt, but if you choose a longer duration, it can create a longer prompt and add more actions. That is useful because if you generate only a 5-second video and try to include too many actions, the video model might not be able to do them properly. For each duration, it also has a certain formula that is integrated with the main formula. The duration, frames, and other settings are configured for MiniMax, but you can try using it with other models too. Like I said, I created this mainly with MiniMax in mind. You can also exclude the duration from the formulas if you want to create your own formula for something different. And do not forget to check the node Help to learn more about how it works. If you do not understand something, you can copy the help text into ChatGPT and ask it to explain it. So we have our prompt generated in a format MiniMax can understand. The first time is slower, but after that, on my PC, it took around 11 seconds for each generation. You can see here that it says text to video. So let me move it to the side and load an image. Let me use this ballerina. Then I connect it to the first frame input. You can see that now it says first frame here instead of text to video. If I duplicate this image, change it to something else, and connect it to the last frame input, you can see that now it generates first frame, last frame prompts. So it is easy to adapt it to what you need. Let me disconnect the last frame and test it for first frame to video. I want the ballerina to dance and then disappear, and I click Generate. By the way, if you plan to use this inside another workflow, I recommend enabling this free VRAM option, so it clears the VRAM before continuing to the workflow. Keeping this model in memory together with the MiniMax model is too much for many video cards. You can also change the seed from fixed to random. If I put it inside a bigger workflow, I usually use a fixed seed. So add a short prompt, choose the duration, and generate. and you should get better prompts compared to what you would normally write by hand. Then you can copy them or even edit them manually before you run them in the MiniMax workflow from episode 29. If I choose 15 seconds, I should get more actions there and possibly a longer prompt. So play with it and see if you find it helpful. It is not as smart as ChatGPT, but it is a free model. That is all for today. Thank you, Legends, and everyone who subscribed to the membership. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave a like and a comment to help with the YouTube algorithm. Have fun editing images with Krea too.